You bring home a decent paycheck, you pay your bills, and yet by the end of the month, your savings have completely evaporated. It is easy to blame a lack of discipline, but a disappearing balance is rarely a willpower problem. It is an architectural failure in how you store your money. Most people run their entire financial life through a single checking account. Your income, rent, groceries, and your attempts at saving all live in the exact same place. When everything pools together, you see a temporarily large number on payday. That big balance tricks your brain into feeling financially secure, removing the natural hesitation you'd otherwise have before making an impulse purchase. This diagram shows exactly how the paycheck leak works. A large volume of cash enters a single central reservoir, and immediately untracked daily expenses start draining out the bottom before a single dollar can be set aside for the future. Relying on one account and sheer willpower guarantees inconsistent saving. It leaves your cash highly vulnerable to the slow drip of lifestyle creep. A checking account is designed for one specific purpose: ultimate liquidity. It is built to make your money as accessible as possible the moment you need to buy something. Because of that access, money moves out fast. Debit card swipes, automatic bill payments, and one-click online shopping all happen instantly. This split-screen comparison shows the trade-off for that speed. On the left, we see rapid transaction spikes constantly draining the account. On the right, the interest earned over a 12-month period stays flat at 0%. And as we overlay this rising line representing inflation, the gap between your stagnant cash and the growing cost of living becomes clear. Storing all your wealth here means you actively lose purchasing power over time. You might try to mentally wall off a few $100s in that account for a rainy day, but mental accounting almost always collapses the moment discretionary spending demands a little extra cash. If your capital is highly accessible, it is completely unprotected from your own daily consumption habits. The alternative is a tool built entirely for defense, the savings account. It is designed specifically to hold capital, not spend it. Savings accounts strip away immediate point-of-sale features like debit cards and checkbooks. This creates a hard physical barrier against impulsive buying. Here, we see this concept mapped out as an architectural blueprint. The checking account operates like an open, doorless archway, while the savings account is built like a heavy vault door. In the context of saving money, slightly harder access to your cash is a required feature. By accepting that friction, you earn a financial reward. The bank pays you interest simply for keeping your money parked and stable. It forces a necessary trade-off. You sacrifice instant access to your cash in exchange for wealth preservation and the psychological distance required to protect it. Historically, traditional brick-and-mortar banks offered terrible returns for making this trade-off, usually paying a tiny fraction of a percent. This matrix compares traditional versus online high-yield savings accounts. Without physical branches, online banks offer a massive mathematical disparity in interest yield, passing on 4% or more. The trade-off? Transferring funds introduces a 1 to 3 day delay. Far from being a flaw, that delay acts as a powerful behavioral advantage. A 3-day waiting period forces a cooling-off window that effectively kills impulse purchases. For any cash sitting idle, an FDIC-insured high-yield savings account delivers the highest passive return, requiring only a minor, highly beneficial loss in immediate liquidity. Operating without a dedicated storage system leaves you completely exposed to sudden financial shocks. When all your cash flows through a single checking account, a mistimed bill or a forgotten subscription leaves you highly vulnerable to aggressive bank penalties. Spending just $5 past your balance can trigger a brutal $35 overdraft fee. That tiny mistake becomes an expensive penalty that quickly accelerates the cycle of debt. This is why an emergency fund is critical. It acts as the ultimate financial shock absorber against life's unexpected expenses, from medical bills to sudden car repairs. Keeping even a modest buffer physically separated from your daily checking ensures that a minor crisis is handled with cash rather than a high-interest credit card. True financial peace is not defined by having a massive income. It is defined by having structurally insulated backup options. The solution is to build a dual system. This architecture allows you to exploit checking liquidity while utilizing the heavy defense of a high-yield savings account. This decision tree maps the critical first step. On payday, capital splits automatically before any spending occurs. Path A routes a fixed amount to an isolated, high-yield vault for emergencies. The remaining funds travel down Path B into checking, ready for guilt-free daily living. This physical separation radically changes how you view your cash. By removing future money from your visible daily balance, you naturally adjust your spending down to fit what remains. Enduring 15 minutes of initial friction permanently eliminates the need to rely on daily budgeting willpower. Starting from zero, begin small. Automatically route $25 to $50 a paycheck to build an initial $500 buffer. At this stage, your primary goal is not earning high interest. Your goal is establishing the behavioral habit of separating your money. For the casual optimizer, the approach scales up. As you can see in this layout, while the beginner optimizes for distance, the optimizer focuses on yield, shifting their bulk liquid reserves into the savings account to maximize passive returns. Keep in mind the specific trade-off of this strategy. Because of the transfer delay, you will need to engage in slight cash flow forecasting before making any large purchases. Whether you are saving $50 or $50,000, the rule of the system holds true. Checking accounts are for spending, and savings accounts are for storing. You do not need to budget harder or earn a fortune to stop living paycheck to paycheck. You just need to architect a banking system where every dollar is directed by design,